Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another weekend edition of the Sparkling Tuna Cup, week number 72. 72. That's a lot of weeks. That's a lot of editions. I'm currently invisible. Oh, I'll be back soon. I'll be back soon. But welcome, one and all, to our weekly open tournament. Welcome to some Open StarCraft. Welcome, everyone. Of course, I'm your host, Live VIP, and with me, I'm joined by these amazing players, the people in the chat, and by my plushies as well. Let me just quickly get my webcam sorted, and then we can jump into our first series of the night. Ooh. Bam. Hey. There we go. We're jumping into our first series, and of course, this event is a PTR event. We have the PTR edition once again here for the Sparkling Tuna Cup. All of our tournaments are going to be held on the PTR at least until it goes live, just to provide as much testing and as much StarCraft on the PTR as we can. We are doing our part, just providing as much opportunity to test all these changes and to get everything going. For now though, we're settling in. We are settling into our first game, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the random Zerg player from the land of Ukraine, rolling Zerg, going for the 12 pull. Oh my god, it is HackErIsTop. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Zerg player from the land of Belarus, representing the Platinum Heroes, going for a 15 hatch opener. It is Nikich. And if you are in the chat, you know what time it is, Pappy. It is time to get your Gamba going. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat as predictions are open. Again, 12 pull against a 15 hatchery. This is a very, I was going to say very safe build here by Nikich. He should soon be going for a spawning pool before Gas Geyser. Because the spawning pool is before the gas and after the hatchery, that means that Queens and Lings are going to be spawning in earlier, which means just in time to defend against the Ling aggression of HackErIsTop. Assuming that he doesn't pull the boys. He pulls the boys. Let's go. The boys are being pulled. It's all or nothing for the blue Zerg player. And Nikich back at home. Again, thankfully did go for a safe opener, and he should be able to survive this. He has a tool to defend when it comes down to the execution, as the Overlord does confirm. And he knows. Nikich, he does spot the drones. Shout out to the bugged out Sparkling Tuna, as again, this is the PTR, and the PTR is, it's a little bit broken here and there. It's all good. The boys are being pulled, and we can see that Nikich is preparing back at home. I mean, he could cancel the expansion, doesn't need the base, but does let it finish. Does pre-pull a couple of boys to try and deny those spine crawlers. Oh, does delay for a moment. Yeah, rotating around, nice service area. Does distract. Oh my god, the control does force a cancel. But the drones are getting caught out. 2 drones go down. More spine crawlers on the way. We have a defensive spine crawler here from Nikich, but he's exposed. Very exposed. Takes a lot of hits. Takes a lot of damage. Lings and Queens are on the way. The spine crawlers looks like they will finish up. I say that. Looks like they're exposed. We're going for it. And Nikich, he goes for the dive. The northern spine crawler, this one on the left-hand side, is going to be cancelled. Meanwhile, a lot of drones are falling. Spine crawler does finish up here for Nikich. And he might have lost too much. He might have just lost too much. He's down to 3 workers, barely any Lings, has a queen, but that's 3 spine crawlers. And he has the high ground. No, he has the high ground. Nikich, oh god, takes a lot of hits. That spine crawler is going to fall. And it looks like, has HackErIsTop, has he done it? Looks like he may have. I'm going to get a slowly push forward towards the natural. He's within range of the hatchery. Is able to mine some minerals, though. He can produce more Lings. Oh! Nice control with the queen. No, the queen! The queen goes down! Oh, it's within range of the spine crawler. And again, it looks like the bases are under fire. I mean, there are some more Lings on the way, so with more Lings in production. I mean, hey, there's a better economy for the blue Zerg. There is a better economy. Nikich, he cannot clean this up, not anymore. Again, he lost too many workers early on. He did get shut down. Likewise, was unable to deny that second spine crawler in time either. Lings are amassing, but he's gonna have broodlings as well. Going for the low ground. We'll get the first spine, but the other's still within range. Like, this is brutal. Still within range. Spawning pool falls. Lings, they go for the dive. There it is. GG gets called, and HackErIsTop takes game number 1. GG. Does take the first game. Again, HackErIsTop is known for cheese, is known for aggression. That is why Nikich went for a very safe opener. Despite that, was unable to hold on, unable to survive. And now we're getting ready for game number 2. I expect nothing but cheese out of HackErIsTop from Nikich. We'll see. We'll see how he's able to keep up and able to respond, able to react. So it's game 1 in the books. This is just catching up with the chat. Good sportsmanship. True, true. I mean, did tell him his starting race despite rolling random. Oh, there we go. Game 2 is going to be on ley lines. Again, as a reminder, this event is going to be on the PTR, is on the new maps as well, on the new patch. Has been for the past couple of weeks. Just adding that to the stream title before we jump in. I guess that's why he plays random. I mean, sure, yeah. I mean, you say that, but at the same time, he does often tell his opponent his starting race, right? Like, technically, HackErIsTop has there's no need to. Like, if you compete as random and if you play as random, you do not need to tell your opponent your race. It is purely, HackErIsTop purely did so just, you know, I guess just to be nice in that last game. Could also lie, true. But telling the opponent your race does take away some of that advantage that you otherwise would have. But now we're getting into game number 2. Game number 2. Oh, let's go. And once again, we have our Ukrainian random player does roll Protoss, does tell his opponent his race once again, leading the series 1-0. It is HackErIsTop. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player representing Belarus. It is Nikich. Lying in the tournament would be hilarious. I'm pretty sure we've seen that before. I want to say we casted... We have seen Nina play random against Cham. Did we see... Did they lie? Maybe. Because I think that's happened before. I want to say that's happened before. In an open cup. Regardless, we're settling in. So now it is going to be a hatch first out of Nikich. The probe scout does of course reveal the race, which HackErIsTop already did a reveal. Nexus first. Okay. Nexus first from the Protoss. Straight up before Gateway, very greedy build. So far so good. No cannon rush. Once again, HackErIsTop has a reputation, and Nikich is aware of that. That's why he went for a bit of a more delayed expansion, just in case. Which leads to early queens and early lings. There we go. There it is. We have 6 lings in production. These lings have a little work to do. Now, bearing in mind, HackErIsTop already saw that it was a pool first build, so he knows to be ready back at home. And you can see he's walling up. Interesting, going for a Nexus first into a 2-gate follow-up. With this, he will have access to more Adept production into an early 2 and then 4 Adept once he gets the Cybercore. Cybercore is thrown down. Ooh, I believe this is a full wall. I don't think there's any room here. I could be mistaken. Zealot's on the way. Lings are moving out. Is there enough room here? I don't think so. Lings are on the way. They're going to be able to chip away at the wall. Yeah, it is a full wall. Which means the Zealot can't do much here. This is kind of a weird setup. The Cybercore is exposed. Uh-oh. The Cybercore is going to go down. That is brutal. That's going to delay the Stargate, assuming it was going to be a Stargate follow-up. Ay. Cybercore, it does finish. It can't be cancelled, and it's going to go down. Yeah, that's a brutal pickup. Yeah, SimCity here was not ideal. Cybercore falls, Lings, they flood in, they get us around, they go for the Zealot. Zealot is going to be shut down. Oh, I say that, the boys are being pulled. Nice save. HackErIsTop, he should be able to hold on here. Oh, the control saves the Zealot. Adepts have arrived, and the Protoss holds. Protoss does hold, but again, losing that Cybercore was brutal because it delays whether it's a Stargate or the Robo or the Twilight Council. The tech is late for the Protoss. Back at home, Nikich is just droning up. Happily droning. getting into his third, taking extra gas. Oh, okay, never mind. Going for an extractor trick. And I'm curious if the Protoss does go for Stargate, does go for Sky Toss. I would assume so, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, the world is his oyster. Could go for Twilight Council into Glaives, could go into DTs, and we have the answer. It is going to be double Robo right under the right under the Overlord. No shame. No shame whatsoever. Now, what does this mean? This means that there's going to be a period here. There's going to be a window in time where HackErIsTop doesn't really have anything. He doesn't have much of an army at all here, and we'll see if Nikich is able to make use of that window. He's droning. Okay, just droning up. He is moving out with some Lings that he can threaten the expansion. He can threaten the low ground. There's no shield battery. That Zealot could go down, and Lings they can bust in. Stalkers in the main. Lings have arrived. They can break through this front door, and Warp Gate isn't done. No, the wall's not open. The wall is open. The wall's not a wall. Lings getting to the middle line. Probes are going down. Oof. And some brutal losses. 3 probe kills. Doesn't end the game, but I mean, a Ling Flood would have ended the game straight up here. So HackErIsTop isn't punished too hard. He could have been, right? He could have been punished here so hard, but does get away with it. Does hold. Behind this, getting into the bay. I assumed this was going to be for a mass Immortal production, but with the bay on the way, it looks like this could be for Colossus, Disruptors, one or the other. Nikich has, for the most part, an idea of what's happening. How does he respond? Lair. Gases. Getting into Roaches. Could just be Roach Ravager play here. With the excess gases being taken, I mean, it would be wild. It would be very risky, but we could see a Spire. Like, Mutas would shut down a Robo Opener, but they take quite some time to really get going. So it's a very risky maneuver. Link is being researched. Jesus, this is all very expensive. Like, he's going for the Bay, going for Blink. He's got double Robo, which isn't doing anything either. I don't think HackErIsTop necessarily has the economy to sustain all of this. Colossus on the way. Oh, well, supply blocked there. But he's going for the Colossus. And he can't necessarily afford much else. But we're getting there. It's a bit of a jank build, but it's all slowly piecing together. More pylons underway. There's the Spire that we did mention. Again, the Spire makes sense to me. For those that are curious, Spire typically hard counters mass Robo production like this, just because so little shoots up. But at the same time, if HackErIsTop is going for a 2-base all-in, the Mutas, I think they might arrive too late, right? By the time the Mutas, by the time they morph in, I think this army is going to be moving out across the map. Like, I don't expect HackErIsTop to take a third. I don't expect him to macro. So, very risky maneuver here by Nikich. Yeah, okay. He cancels. I think it now sets in. He's like, hold up. You're not going to expand, are you? So he cancels the Spire. No Mutas. He's going to double down on Roach Ravager. I think this is a wise choice by Nikich. But will he have enough? I don't think he should be active like this, though. He's moving out Nikich. He doesn't know if there's a third, but I feel like once he realizes, he should get the hell out of here. We'll see. Yep, he does fan out his Roaches, checks the third base location, pushing it to the natural. Oh, well, lands a Bile. Does land a Bile. So we do see Nikich, who wants to be more proactive, wants to engage with the army ahead of time. Is risky. Nikich backs off. HackErIsTop breaks out. Now, ideally, Nikich wants to fight this out in the open. Not here, but he wants to fight it, like, out here. Like, on creep, with potential surround. As all Nikich has to do is make sure he doesn't overdrone, right? Like, there's no third. Like, this is straight up 2-base all in. So, as long as he just calms things down, drones up to, like, 63, 66 max, focuses on Roach Ravager production, on Ling Bane, he should be okay. Now, it'll still come down to the execution of the all-in. We do see a 4th Colossus coming out. Jesus. 5? Getting up to 5 Colossi. That's a lot of lasers, man. It's a lot of lasers. Oh no. Epilepsy warning. We're gonna we're gonna have mass lasers on the Roach army here of Nikich. Ay. I'll be honest, at this point, I would say I would not be opposed to only getting up to 3 Colossus and then going Disruptor, right? I would not be opposed to going Disruptor instead to reinforce, to add a little bit more micro ability to the army, to zone back the Roach Ravager to get some shots off. So, yeah, I'm less convinced about committing to more Colossus. But we'll see. We'll see. Bathing run by setup. Army moves out. Does have quite a death bull of an army. Now, the soup does lie. Nikich is up in supply, but look at the army supply more importantly. Where Nikich, he's only up, what, 20 army supply? And Nikich, he has an inflated army supply as well. Oh, there's no wall. The wall's not a wall. Bailey's, they rush into the mineral line. No reaction either, and the probes do go down. And now HackErIsTop is completely all in. Where are the force fields? Decent force fields. 1 Colossus is going to get picked up. Do we have some juggling? We do not. Where's the Prism? The Prism wasn't quite able to respond in time. Colossus left idle. Yeah, the bars are brutal. GG gets caught as Nikich collapses on the main army, and Nikich takes game number 2. GG. We're going to the ace match. We are going all the way to game 3. An interesting build by HackErIsTop, but as a reminder, at the start of the game, you know what he said? Testing. He was doing it for testing purposes, Pappy. Testing purposes. But this will be leading into an ace match here, and we'll see how this story does end. Meanwhile, looks like our players need a moment. It's all good. We're willing to wait a little bit here. They're asking for around 5 minutes. Looks like something has come up. More than happy to wait. And it looks like, oh my god, we have some updates. A lot of updates, actually. I'm a little bit surprised. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. We can move the bracket over a little bit. There we go. From the top, we do have Rebellion. Rebellion gets a 2-0 over Luna Sea. Oh my god. Very big win here for Rebellion. Does advance on into the quarterfinals to face off against Zaun in a best of 3. Scrolling down, we have Shameless. Shameless up against Captain Fish in a Protoss vs Terran matchup. Winner goes up against Eba. Eba does get a walkover in the first round, waiting for his next opponent. Meanwhile, scrolling down, we have the second half of the bracket. We have Geralt. Geralt waiting for his opponent, either going to be Honmono or Demi. That is a spicy TVZ. And we have Nikich already wrapping up as well. He takes down Cos Phoenix 2-0. Nikich is waiting for the win of this series, so we'll most likely finish up this match and then follow it into Nikich. That will be the plan. Whether it's Nikich or HackErIsTop, yet to be determined, but we'll be following this into Nikich. And again, as a reminder, I did just mention that our players need a couple of minutes. Again, we are more than happy to just wait. Like 5 or so minutes for our players, so there is going to be a little bit of downtime before that ace match, and then should be smooth sailings from there. As a reminder as well, both semifinals will be casted, so at the moment we are focusing on the lower half of the bracket, going from Nikich into HackErIsTop, into Nikich, into the lower semifinals, then into the upper semifinals. We'll be able to cover both here on the channel. And maybe some other matches depending on how fast things are. So we'll get there, we'll get there. When it comes to our competitors here tonight, we are missing a couple of them, specifically Christiana, he is missing. We're missing some of our key Korean players as well. I'm referring to Nightmare, Byun, and Shin, especially Nightmare. Nightmare is a very active player in these open cups, but Nightmare is missing in action. Instead, we have Zaun. Zaun has been becoming a more and more consistent player in our open cups, and he's actually the reigning champion. Did win last week in Sparkling Tuna Cup number 71. So he is the reigning champion. We'll see if he can be stopped. Zaun has been on fire as of late. We saw him take down Clem in a Lima League last week. We saw him take down, I think he took down Byun that weekend as well, or that week as well. Popped off in the PvPs, taking down Hero. Like, Zaun has been looking very, very strong. And we'll see if that continues. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I apologize for the break, but I hope you enjoyed the brutal OC nonetheless. We have returned. We have returned with the ace match of our first best of 3 of the evening. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the random player rolling Terran from the land of Ukraine. It is HackErIsTop. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the red Zerg player from the land of Belarus representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nikich. So our random player has rolled each race once. Game 1 was Zerg, Game 2 was Protoss, and now he is a Terran. And again, I expect cheese, I expect aggression, I expect all-ins, and we'll see if Nikich can survive it. Oh boy. For now, pool first. Makes sense. Pool first opener here by Nikich. Meanwhile, he's going to be setting up here back at home, keeping his Overlord pinned just in case. And again, we're loading into Whispers of Gold. Unfortunately, there is no gold base on this map, despite the name of the map itself. Shaking my head. And when it comes to this map, some of the features here: short rush distance by ground. It is prone to all-ins, whether it's roach-based all-ins or two-based all-ins in general from either side. They can be quite favored on this map just because of how exposed the third base is. The third and the fourth are more wide open than on other maps. There's no ramps, there's no high ground to really take advantage of or full advantage of. Here the ramp is very wide open, very exposed, very vulnerable. So we'll see which one of our players is going to be the initial aggressor. Rax on the low ground, going to be a 2-Rax opener actually. Okay, CC first into a 2-Rax, so the Reaper production is going to be a little bit more delayed because of how quickly the CC has been thrown down. And do we have another Rax? Oh, not quite, just a depot. Full wall off here with the depot. Overlord will confirm the 2-Rax setup. Does get eyes on everything. Again, cash is now being taken because of the fast expansion, which means should be 2-Rax Marine here from HackErIsTop. The Marine production has begun. Meanwhile, back at home, Nikich getting into his own. Oh my god, he's going for a Roach Rush. Makes sense. He's going into Roaches. Now, this should be for a Ravager push, and the reason why this makes sense is because all the production is exposed, because there are no Reapers either for map control, for any kind of scouting information, and there's no high ground. There's no ramp, there's no high ground. There's just so much that's vulnerable here on the low ground. The Lings, they do get across the map. They get on top of the SCV. One SCV goes down. Marines are confirmed, and HackErIsTop has 0 scouting information. No SCV scout, no Reaper scout. He's in the dark as to what's going on because of his build, and that means that Nikich can embrace Roach Ravager aggression. There we go, 6 Roaches on the way. Should only be the 6. From here, they can morph into Ravagers, and Nikich could even drone after the Ravager push, to be honest. He can take down the depots, shut down the production. There is a factory in the main, but again, there's just not much else to really work with here. It's going to take a little bit too long for HackErIsTop to actually get into his build. Bunkers being thrown down, but it's going to be vulnerable to those piles. The bunker and the depot. Roaches are moving out. And there's the first Ravager. First Ravager is on the way. And this Nikich just joining up. Is going to be droning, going for his third on location. Roaches have arrived. Only the one Ravager. There we go. Second Ravager's on the way. You can see HackErIsTop just throwing down additional bunkers. Oof. Taking a lot of hits. But again, honestly, Nikich just has to take it slow. He's going for the Rax, actually. Oh, yeah, the bunkers are out of range. Rax is going to go down. Force the lift. Ravagers, they bust in. Up. Going for another bunker. That's a kill, not a cancel. Bunker does fall. Tank production has begun. Roach Ravager gets behind the mineral line. And there's only 4 Marines. I mean, there's also 4 more Marines in the bunker. Going for the depot. Roaches, they take a lot of damage. Ooh. Another Roach goes down. And it looks like HackErIsTop, he's going to be able to hold on. Oh, does barely get the depot, though. Barely. And the Terran holds. I do think that Nikich, he morphed in too many Roaches. I was very on the fence about the 6 Roach push, but basically because he made 6 Roaches, it meant he had less Ravagers. It meant he had less Ravagers, which meant that he had less potential to really lay siege upon this position. So in the end, HackErIsTop, he holds on, he does survive, he can build up and get into his own double star. God. He's getting into his own 2-base double starport play. 2-port mass Banshee on the way for HackErIsTop, but he's also getting concussive shell. Okay, it does cancel. I was a little bit confused, but concussive shell is cancelled, and he's getting ready for mass Banshee. Now, we did see this the other day from Hon Mono as well. Oh my, so my apologies. I assumed it was Mass Banshee, but no, my apologies. That is a Fusion Core 2-port BC. 2-port BC on the way for the Terran. That can, wait, that can be brutal. No add-on swap? Just making the, okay. I mean, may as well. Do we go up to 3-port? No shot. Do we throw down a 3rd starport? Aye. It's possible. It is possible. As Nikich back at home, he's saturating his bases, taking a greater economy, or trying to get a greater economy. Lair is on the way. Overlord Scout comes in. And the Overlord doesn't see much. He floated the starport away. He's crazy. Does float away. There we go. Does come back in. Ooh, now is not the time for a supply block. It might even be worth killing his own Marines, not gonna lie, just to make some supply here. Depot's on the way, might have to cool down supply as well. Yep, there we go. Does cool down supply. And here come the battle cruisers. Now, because this is all so delayed and it's so wonky when it comes to being a build here, it means Nikich, he's gonna be able to take advantage of that. Is happily droning. Now getting into roach play. Now, what I am most concerned about is the fact that Nikich is in the dark as to what's going on, because that no Spire. Otherwise, there would be a Spire. And this is a little bit on Nikich. Because the lair is done, there should be an Overseer Scout. 100%, there should be an Overseer Scout, and there isn't. There is no Overseer, there is no Scout, there is no follow-up, and... Okay, still going for the Spire nonetheless. I do appreciate that. Nikich a little bit suspicious. BCs are building up. Jesus, almost every depot has the cooldown supply. Scan into the main, gets eyes on the Spire. Roach Ravager pushing in, going for the depots. Oh, they're so juicy, and he's going to get both of them. There he gets one, and the other. First two BCs have arrived, and they're teleporting across the map. They're going for the Spire, and can they deny it? If the Spire goes down, the BCs they can try to win the game from here on forward. Yeah, the Spire will not finish. Brutal pickup. Spire gets 9, scans ahead of time. He's looking for the backup Spire. It's at the 3rd, I believe. Yeah, there it is. It's further back at the 3rd base. BCs are making their way over. Meanwhile, Roach Ravager, they bust into the natural. There's one Banshee to defend. Cyclone comes down. It looks like... But the Wiles... Oh, Wiles, they do graze the army. Oh my god. The Wiles, once again, they almost connect. BCs, they deny the Spire for a second time. They do deny the Spire, but the Roach Ravager, it's getting into the natural, getting to the mineral line. Yamato's going off. 3rd BC. I feel like that 3rd BC should have been here back at home. I feel like we needed to defend. Jesus, the Spores, they hold their own. Nikich, yeah, he's holding on. We'll lose another Queen. But meanwhile, across the map, the Roach Ravager busts into the main. Gets a kill on the first starport. Going for the second. Boys are being pulled. Beast is ahead for the main, going for the Hydroden. Hydroden does go down. But Nikich has got 8 Hydras on the way. Oh, he's repairing. Are we missing a BC? There it is. Ooh, 1 BC falls to the Queen. And HackErIsTop late to repair. One BC, it's barely holding. Barely surviving. HackErIsTop, he still has some mining back at home to repair. But it's only 2 battle cruisers. Do we have another Hydroden? There is. Okay, there is another Hydroden. Hydras are amassing. Now, the reason why there's the Hydrogen, because it finishes faster than Aspire. 1 BC goes out, there's 1 left. GG gets called, and Nikich, he holds, he survives, he defends, and he takes a series at 2-1. GG. GG, well played. Nikich will take this series. Again, a bold build from HackErIsTop, and I feel like there was definitely a way that could have been, we could have seen some success there. Again, it was very risky for him to teleport his third BC across the map. Did mean that the Roach Ravager broke the natural and ended the game from there, essentially. It forced the all-in to be that much more committed, and yeah, alas. Honestly, if that third BC stayed at home, if it deflected the Roach Ravager, then suddenly that 3 BC setup turns into 5 BCs, because there were 2 more in production. If you remember, there were 2 more BCs in production in the main. They didn't finish because, you know, Nikich got into the main, but they were still very close. That was still very intense. With that, congratulations to Nikich, and we will be following him into the next round.